Hey everyone, Brie here. Today we have a very special episode that I recorded without Len. Every November, Big Medium hosts a multi-week program called the Austin Studio Tour, where the public gets to go all around Austin, visit with artists, and check out their amazing work. I love, love, love this event, especially because I get to meet so many amazing artists and talk to them about their work in person. In this episode, I'm taking you along with me on one of my days of the studio tour. So you're going to hear a variety of background noises, including my husband, crowds, and any other things that the microphone might end up catching. My hope is that all this will contribute to an immersive experience for you. So join me in this episode as I chat with artists Sonnier, Aileen Chen, Denise Elliot Jones, Tammy West, Robin Cheers, and Melanie Lewis as they answer the questions: why do you make art? And what do you love about your own art? Hopefully, as we go, you can answer these questions for yourself as well. Now, here we go into the Austin Studio Tour. Okay, so this is Brie. I'm in Austin at the Circle. What is it? Circle C Creatives?
Yes.
Okay. The Circle. Well, this is a big Austin studio tour, and I am here at the show for Circle C Creatives, and I am here with. How do you say your last name?
Sonnier.
Okay, so it's Sonnier, which is what I was thinking it is. So I'm here with Sonnier, and she will first tell us what you do and what your medium is, and then I'll ask you my questions.
So I'm an oil painter, and I paint a lot of landscapes and also some still lifes.
Beautiful. All right, well, we won't belabor this. So my first question is, why do you make art?
I make art because I love the colors. I love all different colors. And with landscape painting, I like to see how the colors change during the different seasons. And so sometimes I paint outside and sometimes I paint inside, but I just like being out there in nature, and I like to hike as well and just be out in it, but also come home and, just really look at my surroundings and try to capture them.
That's so similar to what I do, because I also love to hike. And because I'm a landscape photographer, I go out and I'm like, oh, and I notice, I love watching the seasons change. And I also love that now that I'm really deep in my own creative work, I end up seeing more deeply than I would normally. And I think that's a really beautiful thing.
I agree.
Okay, so my second question is, what do you love about your own art? I somehow knew this would trip people up because now they have to talk about their work in a way that...
I guess, everything I paint, I have some kind of connection to. And so it's usually places that I've been, or maybe places I want to remember because it was really beautiful, or it's where I grew up, or where I visited my best friend. In fact, I have a piece in the Austin Studio Tour group exhibit that I painted this spring when I went to California to one of my good friends' wedding. And so it's a good reminder of that whole event. And it was a beautiful time in California. They had lots of rain, and so the hills were green. And
is that the Highway 101?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that one. That's awesome. It stuck out to me because it was so green. And actually, I grew up in California, and so having green hills is sometimes a rare thing.
That's true. Sometimes the yellow hills are pretty too.
Yes.
In the summer.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it evokes, something I remember.
Yeah, I love that too. I love taking that with me. So thanks, Lori. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Nice talking to you.
It was a great chat. All right. Well, I don't know how to end these, so I'll just pause here.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, what is this normal thing that I see every day that I can't tell?
This is so fun. Okay, I'm here with Aileen Chen. Eileen.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, sorry. My sister's middle name is Eile, and it's Eileen. So
I
safe.
respond to all of it. Eileen, Irene, Aileen.
Oh well, my first name is Brie, and so it's IE. Nice to meet you too. And I've had it pronounced so many different kinds of ways. It's so
Probably.
fun.
It's like, and then you respond to all of it.
Right. Okay. Could you give us a little recap of because I asked you, what is it they do? What kind of art do you make?
Right. Okay.
Just a
thank
quick
you.
summary.
I make art made out of discarded materials, and I'm just really fascinated by how objects can have value at one point and then lose value quickly, sometimes over years, sometimes in seconds. And so I really wanted to just take discarded materials, like things that people, quote unquote, don't want anymore, lost their value somehow, but then bring value back to them. So I take product packaging, I take fabric samples, scrap materials, newsprints, and basically buy things secondhand, or else, whatever I have at home, like shipping boxes, and just try to see what can I do and challenge myself to make it into something beautiful and something that someone might covet. And so it really started out with a lot of product packaging, is really thinking there's this one American sculptor called Louise Nevelson, who I'm fascinated by because she does a lot of monochromatic art, so kind of very much like black and white. And so it's taking everyday objects and thinking, how can a contact lens case or a Tic Tac box, right, regain some kind of value? And so I try to bring them down to the basic shapes by making them monochrome, and through composition try to make it into a creative piece. So it really started from that, and then I take all kinds of materials like shipping boxes and see what I can do.
And fabric, designer fabric scraps. Okay, I am seeing in this one thread spools. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
he's telling me how to. Okay. So I'm seeing in this one thread spools. Are those corks?
Yes, they are wine corks.
Okay.
And there's also floss.
Oh, floss.
And this is like lotion.
A little like a dropper bottle or something.
And then SPF, lotions and contact lens cases, just things like that. It's really just trying to see, when you don't focus on the labels or the color and you look at just the shapes are pretty fascinating. And when you put them all together, it is really interesting to look at. So,
I have a huge smile on my face because I just love the concept of this.
Thank you so much.
I think it's really great. Thanks for being my husband's here with me, and he's like telling me because you've done this way more than I have. So this is my first time taking this little guy on the road. I know, and so because usually there's two of us and we just have mics and they're dedicated and all those things. So, this is just fantastic. I love it, and I love the colors. So just there's a lot of black and like monochromatic lights, and not even like bright whites. It's very like creamy neutrals, and then pops of colors like reds, oranges, and some
monochrome. As I think there is a certain simplicity, like Japanese minimalism, I'm especially drawn to, and I think there's something to be said about just beautiful textures, and that doesn't need a whole lot of distraction. That I think can really be beautiful on its own. So I tend to be drawn towards that, and it also makes the creation, I think, a little simpler, down to really the form and the texture, and not so much on the color itself. So that I'm pretty drawn to, and maybe it makes it simpler.
Just a couple colors.
Yeah, but then our eye knows what exactly to look at.
Right. Yes. Yeah. To focus on. That's
Right. So maybe. Right. Oh yeah. Same. Yeah. So my two questions are, and I think maybe you even already answered it, was why do you make art?
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't do this professionally, but I've been doing art throughout my life, and I feel like everybody needs some form of creativity, be it visual art, performing art, or writing, or whatever it is, right? Because it really taps into a part of you that wants to express in some way. So art for me is very much like that. Like I have a very visceral reaction to some things I see, and that's my form, or music I listen to. I think we all have some form of that, and I think that really taps into like this human emotions that sometimes we don't get to tap into in our professional work or other aspects of our life. I think it's so important to be multidimensional in that way.
Yeah, I also agree. We talk about a lot about emotions and how well, yeah, but like how does that influence us, and what do we get from it, and
It's a meditative state that we get into, right?
right,
Yeah.
or sometimes like crazy excitement. Like I mean, I've been out on the dunes in White Sands, wind blowing all around me, stuff happening, and
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hey, that's all white there.
It's perfect.
I know. That is why I like it.
Yes, right? We should go on trips together. We're like,
Yeah, let's do it. You bring your fabric scraps.
You're asking for some danger there. Because she will call you.
oh, yes,
She
call me.
goes on trips all the time.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
You're a road trip person.
Oh, I'm absolutely a road
Really?
trip. Yes, I'm absolutely a road trip person.
Next week is where?
I'm going to East Texas next week to Caddo Lake. It is the opposite of minimal. It has cypress trees, and it's dripping with like Spanish moss.
Okay. What's it called?
Caddo Lake. It's on the border of, it's on the Louisiana border. And the beautiful thing about it is all of these trees, it's a submerged cypress forest. So they're all in water. And so we kayak and we paddle around. And
Around trees.
yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And we just watch how, like, different, different things that are happening in the weather and the environment are, influencing, how we see, especially light. Backlit moss hanging off those trees is just
And at different times of day, it's going to look gorgeous.
yes, it's absolutely spectacular. Yeah, and it's just a really interesting place to create. Okay, my second question is, what do you love about your art?
I love about art.
Your art in particular.
My art in particular, I think I love the simplicity of it, and I love that it can make something from trash or something discarded into something valuable, which I think both simplicity and it being valuable, like together combined, is not an easy combination, because trash in itself can be very cluttered, right? It can seem so messy. And so I hope that's something unique that people can feel like it's doing something good for the earth, as well as something beautiful to beautify their spaces.
And I see that you feel like you're doing something good for the earth, and you really enjoy putting all this together. Like, I think you see your work and you're like, it's beautiful. I love it.
I don't know. I actually had no idea if people would like this.
Well, you love it too. What I'm saying is you love it.
I love it, and I just hope, and I think that's the part of maybe as creatives we all struggle with, is like, do we make for people to like it, or do I make it so that I like it and hopefully somebody will, right?
Right.
And so I'm trying to figure out like how to make something that I think I like that hopefully someone will like.
Sounds like you have a guest for your podcast to talk through that.
Oh yeah, come on and talk with us.
That was our
Okay, but let me finish this up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
I thought you
fine.
were done.
No, we are done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was so nice talking with you both. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to ask you about who you are. So tell us.
Okay.
So your name is Denise Jones.
Denise Elliot Jones, and I'm an artist here at Circle C, and doing Austin Studio Tour.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, like we were just chatting about, your own work, and what kind of your aesthetic is, and what you love to do.
Well, I use a lot of organic, repetitive shapes, and a lot of circular shapes, and my color palette is minimal, in a desaturated tone. I do a lot of black and white, and then shades of blue, a little bit of white, and yeah, that's what I do.
And it's gorgeous. So
Thank you.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking everyone a couple of questions. I have to remember, my husband told me I have to put this mic down here.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's too much. So I'm asking a couple of questions, which on my podcast, my co-host is, his name is Len Metcalf, and he's based out of Sydney, and he's also an artist, creative mentor, and it's been really, really a fun thing to talk about creativity together. And so what we love to do whenever we have a guest on, we love asking them questions about their own work. And so I would love to know, like, why do you make art?
Well, I make art because I feel like it's my calling and what God made me to do. And then with each piece that I create, I try to make a piece that reminds me of prayer. So all of these circular shapes and the organic shapes in my paintings represent what I envision that prayer looks like going up to heaven. And so it's kind of like when I'm creating, I'm just having a warm, fuzzy relationship with God and making art. And hopefully other people will connect to the same thing.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, because there's a lot of like asymmetric kind of circular, but they're shapes, but they're connected. Right. And so, like, I'm religious. I don't really talk about it on my podcast, but I think of it as like a circle. You know, it kind of all comes around. There's like a little bit of infinity. Kind of going on. So
open-ended.
Yeah. So my other question is, what do you love about your art?
I think I have a style that's definitely my own, and then when you look at my stuff, hopefully you haven't seen anything that's similar to it. And when I see other people's work, sometimes I see that they're influenced by someone else, and sometimes it seems like they're kind of copying other people. And I hope that mine is original and that you could tell I'm the artist and I created it.
Love it. Right, because we want that. We want to feel like
original.
Unique in the world.
Yes, that I'm saying my own voice. Even if someone used the same subject matter, hopefully it would look different.
This is important for us as artists, to feel like we're putting our own unique stamp in the world.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, your work is lovely.
Thank you.
And thank you for chatting with me.
Yes, I enjoyed it. And have a good day.
All right. I'm already recording. I'm just making this like super casual. So I'm here at the Austin Studio Tour, and I'm talking with Tammy West. So Tammy, will you just, I'd like just to be informal. Can you just, and we were just talking about her art, which is really cool. Will you just tell me a little bit about your art and what you're doing here?
Sure. So I'm an environmental artist, and I usually, what that means is doing ephemeral art that is only up for a little bit of time, and I take a photo of it, but most of my work tends to be lately connected to climate change and my sadness about climate change and my desire to fix it. So some of them are sewing cracked earth back together using nails and thread, and that's my desire to have the drought disappear. Some of the time it's putting fabric on Sculpture Falls in Austin to will the water to flow again. Those are some examples of it. But usually there's also one that I did a residency in Ireland, and what's special about that landscape? Okay, well, there's usually not a lot of sheep in Austin, so I decided that having the fuzz on the edge of the everything, plants and everything, 'cause the sheep brush against it. That's part of the palette of the land, and so I chose to use wool as my my paint, and I painted with wool basically. So I did a piece where it connected the foam of the water in an Irish cove to, which is white. There's a line of it, and it connects to the white in the wool. So those are some examples of what I do.
It's all really cool, and I'm finding I have a lot to think about while I'm looking at it, which is really fun. I really like that about when I look at art. So I have a couple of questions for you, and I already told you know the answers. So the first one is, and you already partially answered it, is why do you make art?
Well, I can't not. I can't not. I have to do it. I mean, in this case, I was really how to express the sadness about what's going on in the world is one way. Also, just seeing something, it's hard to turn off your creative mind when I'm out in the world. So I see things and want to do things, and so I just do them. And each place determines what that is. Like did a piece in Iceland that involved wind because it was crazy windy, windier than I've ever experienced. So I decided, fine, I'll do something on wind. So the place just decides what I do. So yeah, I just can't not do it.
Yeah, and I think most of us are in
Yes.
that camp.
Yes.
We can't not do it,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Like there's something about whatever it is that we do that we just feel compelled to. And it's so interesting that so many people do such a variety of different things. Like it's limitless.
It's limitless.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, I do residencies, and there's completely different people, and all it's the same landscape that we're all working in, but we all do something completely different. Some with paint, some with yarn, some with whatever, and then topics are completely different. So that's the beauty of creativity.
Oh, that's fabulous. Okay, my second question is, what do you love about your art? What do you love about your art?
That's a good question. I get to express how, like, a lot of the things that bother me about the world, like how to, I could do something about it, like vote or whatever. I could talk about it. I could plant a tree, for example, which I do all those things. But it gets down more to my helping how to describe this, helping my heart, it helps my heart. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah,
helps my heart.
I saw you put your hand on your chest, and I was like, the art soothes her soul.
It does, yeah.
No
It shows what the problem is, but it also shows how to fix it some of the time, because I also do art that physically, like there's a piece that I did where I use coastal grasses, and it is in a design, but it also is in a place where there's erosion and there's sea level rise coming, and that helps the land stay together. So it's art, but it's also the solution, somewhat of the solution. At least that in that little area, it's the solution is by planting seagrass. So I get to do both things. I get to fix something, and I get to do art at the same time, which makes my heart happy.
And then it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win for everyone.
It's a win-win for everybody. Yeah.
So good. Well, that's it.
That's it.
Was that easy? Was not that the easiest podcast?
Super easy
conversation?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Tammy.
thank you. So how do I?
Seriously, we're just recording right now. I just have to make sure. Okay, I just have to make sure I'm getting my stuff done, because I don't normally do this. We usually record online. Okay. I'm here with, Robin Cheers. By the way, I love your name.
Thank you.
It's cheery. And anyway, I'm just sort of walking around the Austin art tours today, and so I've already recorded actually 4 of these.
Oh, great.
And so just tell me a little bit about, I'm just going to hold up because I've been doing this and messing myself up. So tell me a little bit about your art and what you do. I know we talked a little bit before about the light, and anyway, tell us what you do.
Okay. Well, I guess I would sort of define myself as a contemporary impressionist. My work is painterly, a little loose. I like to have a lot of texture and open brushwork, I would say. And yes, I'm very attracted to light and shadow and the play of light and the color of light. And so I play a lot with that, and night scenes even, and man-made artificial light and what effects those have on the scene.
And I see a lot of work with like streets, or just people doing their. It reminds me a lot of when I was in Paris, in like Versailles or whatever.
Yeah.
Just people doing their thing, just everyday things, or
Exactly. Yes. Well, and that's, I guess that's sort of in the traditional sense, say, also of the Impressionism, not just about the strokes, say, or the color, but they were the first kind of to go out and document life, as it, and they were kind of shunned for that. But that's what I do. It's kind of my visual diary of life and where I've traveled or visited or things that have inspired me, and it also is I do a lot of mindfulness, and these are just moments that I want people to think about and be present and just enjoy that moment. That they're kind of, your everyday scenes, sitting in a cafe or the chef at work, or these things you see in passing, but these are the moments of life that are special, and they need to be documented that way.
I love that, because that's kind of what I do too in my own work. I'm like walking on the trail, and normally I'll photograph things that you would just pass by and you wouldn't necessarily notice. And so I practice a lot of that too. So I love it.
Well, that's what makes us all sort of unique and special in our own. We see things that others maybe miss, and we get to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I've been asking people 2 questions, and you already know the answers.
Okay.
So no stress. Okay, one is, why do you make art?
Oh, do I know the answer?
Yeah, you do, and it doesn't have to be super philosophical either.
It's again that wanting to document life, and just I'm so grabbed by things, the light and shadow effects, and it's a challenge. I want to try to convey those things and capture this moment that, so I guess I just have always done the drawing and loved that part, and then I love oil paint. So just the physical act of painting as well as, meditative, and it's a great process, and and then you get sometimes great results.
It'd be great as subjective. You have to decide that.
Right.
I'm curious, and this is not one of the 2 questions, but like when you're like looking at any of these scenes, like when you're in the moment, what makes you go, oh, I want to paint that?
Oh gosh, yeah. Sometimes it's I call it the sort of passing glance frequently.
The second look?
Yeah, well, it's something that sort of stops, and I'll see some vibrant light or a reflection, or like, I don't know, the light through this girl's skirt that's
right. I love
it's
that.
like a transparent pink shining through, and those things just grab my attention, I guess, and that's where I start.
Love it. I love hearing about the genesis, because we all have, sometimes it's similar and sometimes a little bit different. So my second question is, what do you love about your art?
Oh, what do I love?
Okay. What do you love? Because
I love the light, and I think I do a good job, and I get excited, and when I'm looking at them right now with the gallery lights on, things too, they glow. They do have this sort of sense of light, which, when I think about it now, and I'm always, I say I'm chasing the light, sort of, and I think sometimes I get it.
Right,
catch it.
Right. And I'm like watching your body language, and it says like, this makes me cheery because she's Robin Cheer. But like you feel cheery, and like I can see that it makes you internally light and happy to do this work.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Do you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Right?
It's an effervescence that comes from within out, and is also expressed in her beautiful work.
Yes.
I am so in awe of the moments of light that just sneak up on you when you're looking.
Right.
That you don't notice right away when you see it as a whole until you start looking closer, and then it just pops.
Yeah. And that's another thing I like to try to suggest as much as I can without drawing or getting tight or detailed. So it's kind of a game for me in my own head, like, okay, what can I put, what color or stroke or spot can go here, and they just start to layer up. And so there's kind of 2 views, you step back and you see the whole, but if you get closer, you see all these little different sparkly things and hints.
Sparkly things. You're speaking my language, Robin. Well, I think that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was really fun.
Well, yes, it was.
Spontaneous.
And I love that idea. I can't wait to hear
Me too.
all the other artists you get to speak to, too, and learn more.
We're all weird, right?
That's true.
Okay, wait,
Probably are.
tell me your name.
I'm Melanie. Do I want my last name?
Sure, yeah.
Melanie Lewis.
All right, awesome. Oh yeah, okay, I see your artist statement. I'll take a little picture of that. So
That
what
was
is
from last year, though.
So tell me about this work. This is really interesting.
This is art that is based on something called neurographic art that I found on the internet.
Oh.
After 2019, during 2019, I was holed up, in my house.
Yeah, we know.
Didn't go out.
we know what happened.
And so, as we all were frustrated. So my frustration led to not being able to do my art, really. And I needed to get out of that. I needed to get started again. So I found this, and a psychologist is the one who created it. And basically, you have paper and a pen, a marker, and you go from one end of the paper to a different end while you are thinking of something that is upsetting to you.
Oh, it has to be upsetting?
Something that's bothering you, yeah. Because you want to get rid of those feelings that are
Like put them
stifling
into
you.
the paper through the ink?
Yeah, so you do that and you keep going over it, you keep doing it back and forth. And where the lines cross, you get a point.
Okay.
And you have to get rid of those points because points hurt you stick into you. So like here, you can see that you smooth them out with your pen. So basically everything becomes one. It's all together. Everything ties to everything else. And
so it looks
and
it's
it
more
looks sort of
organic.
like a neural. Yeah, it looks like a neural net.
Yeah, it does look like a neural pathway.
And then once you do that, then you can take colors or you can make other shapes on top of it, and
play.
decorate them and play. Yeah,
Play.
exactly.
Is that alcohol ink or?
No, this is acrylic ink.
Okay.
And and then you just go at it, and then whatever you see or whatever you're thinking about. So I was playing around with the ink, the liquid ink, so I wanted to see, how the water, how it did in the water, and they came out really nice. I think I liked them. And then I liked these where I made ovals and shapes and fill those in, and do the beautiful colors, and so it helped me. It actually seemed to do something. I mean, it's certainly not scientific, but for me, what I did, but it helped me feel better. At least I was doing something, and felt like I was doing something positive to get rid of these feelings. Whether I was actually or not, I don't know. But it was. I mean, I was doing art again, so that.
Which is what we want to do.
That's the idea, right?
Right.
So that's essentially it. And I have all these little ones here, these bigger ones. That's as big as I've got. These are 11 by 14.
This is incredibly interesting. I think you answered my first question.
Yeah.
Which is, why do you make art?
Oh, okay.
Well, that's why you made this art.
Yeah, that's why you made
I
this
made
art.
that art, yeah.
But then there's that, and then there's these
Right.
things,
Yeah.
and then there's these things which she loves doing.
Yeah.
I asked her, what did I ask you? I said, what's your favorite thing to paint?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I said probably nature and people. And because those are things that I relate positively to, generally. Or you have feelings one way or the other. But as I was telling your husband, this was a very a problem-solving process. You have to figure out, what am I going to do with all these lines and marks? How do I? What kind of colors do I want? What do I see in this? Or what can I make that I then can see something? Or what do I want to do? How do I want to go?
Yeah.
And you do it, and it doesn't look right, and you fix it somehow, and you fix and unfix it. And sometimes you toss it.
Right.
Because it's a disaster. But otherwise, isn't that what life really is a big problem-solving process?
Yeah, experiment,
Getting
play.
through it, yeah.
Yeah, completely. I love that it relates so much to life.
Yes. And I like, as I said to your husband, I like to tell stories. I like the art to mean more than just this is a flower, this is a,
I painted a pretty picture.
Or yeah.
Which is okay too.
Yeah, which is okay too. But I like. I didn't use this word before, but I like a little mystery, about things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you like
This is a mystery,
Oh, yeah.
The mystery behind the trio. Who were they? What is the relationship between them all? And was it a happy relationship? Somehow I feel it wasn't.
Do you like the mystery because you ask questions about the mystery and it sparks questions, or because you like to maybe fantasize or imagine what the answers are?
Yeah, I like to imagine.
You come up to like what's the imaginary story that you've come up with this pair? Like,
I decided that the older lady in the background is the powerful mother of the man. And she doesn't like his wife, who was the other one.
That's so great.
And she's very meek, she's very meek around her. So that's
so interesting. You do such a variety of work.
I do a variety of stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody wonders, are you the...
No, I just think you love doing different kinds of things, and so then you go do it.
I like to try new stuff, yeah.
Yeah, fabulous. My last question.
Yes.
What do you love about your art?
What do I love about my art?
Yeah, what do you love?
I don't know. I just love the fact that I'm doing it. I mean, that I'm producing something. I feel it gives you power to know that you produce something. I thought, I made this. This is cool.
Yeah.
Just making anything.
We love seeing what we have in our brains kind of come to life, or what is going to come out of here.
Even little children, you make their mark, with their crayon. They think it's great. They did it.
Right.
I made I had an impact. I did something. So doing is very important in your life.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it. That wasn't hard, right?
No, it wasn't.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Really, truly, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm going to go try that art now.
Yeah, I encourage you to do that.
I'm not an artist, so I can draw lines. I don't know what to do with them.
And I'm not really a drawer, so that would be perfect for me.
Yeah,
so was this? It doesn't work, or is this?
Thank you for joining us in our creative affair. If you love the passion we bring to this creative content, please support the podcast by sharing with a friend, subscribing, and leaving us a review. To find out more about Len, including his photography, Len's Journal, an inspiring quarterly publication, tours, workshops, and his new art school, the Artist Club, visit lenmetcalf.com. For more about me, Brie Stockwell, visit creativemindscoach.com. There you can subscribe to my Monday motivation emails, learn more about creative coaching, check out my online portfolio, and access searchable transcripts of these episodes. See you next time.